Tonight, let us embark on a long and gentle journey through history as we discover how humans across the ages observed the sky, measured the passage of time, and created calendars. This is not only a story of astronomy, it is also a story of agriculture, religion, politics, and culture. A story of how people found meaning in the flow of days and years. We often think of a day, a month, or a year as simple, almost obvious concepts. Yet when we look more closely, each of these words carries centuries of discovery. A day is the turning of the earth on its axis. A month is shaped by the rhythm of the moon. A year is the earth's long orbit around the sun. But in the past, these were not abstract facts. They were matters of survival, of faith, and of power. Imagine a community thousands of years ago. No clocks, no calendars, no printed pages. The only guides are the heavens above. The rising and setting of the sun mark the cycle of light and darkness. The moon waxing and waning offers a repeating pattern, and the return of the seasons tells when to sow seeds, when to gather crops, and when to prepare for the long winter. Archaeologists believe that even in the Stone Age, people tracked celestial events. Monuments such as Stonehenge in Britain or Nabta Playa in Egypt seem aligned with solstices and equinoxes. These ancient structures may have served not only ritual purposes, but also as giant calendars, marking the rhythm of the year. The moon was the first natural clock visible to all. About every 29.5 days, it completed a cycle. Many of the earliest calendars were lunar. Mesopotamian civilizations such as the Babylonians counted months, from new moon to new moon. The Sumerians left clay tablets with careful records of months and years. Yet lunar calendars had a flaw. 12 lunar months amounted to about 354 days, which is shorter than the solar year of about 365 days. This difference of 11 days meant that festivals and agricultural events drifted away from the seasons. Planting might begin too early or too late. Harvest rituals might fall in the wrong time of year. To solve this, ancient societies created systems of intercalation, inserting extra months from time to time to realign the calendar with the seasons. The Babylonians, for example, developed complex rules to decide. Along the Nile, agriculture depended on the flooding of the river. The Egyptians noticed that the bright star Sirius rose in the morning sky just before the flood began. This event repeated every 365 days. Using this observation, the Egyptians created one of the earliest solar calendars. They divided the year into 12 months of 30 days each, and then added 5 special festival days to reach 365. This was an elegant system, and it influenced many later calendars. But, as always, there was a small error. The true solar year is 365 days and nearly 6 extra hours. Over centuries, this discrepancy caused the Egyptian calendar to drift. Festivals gradually shifted to new seasons. The Romans faced similar difficulties. By the 1st century before the Common Era, their calendar had become so confused that Julius Caesar ordered a major reform. With advice from Egyptian astronomers, he introduced the Julian calendar in the year 46 before the Common Era. The Julian calendar introduced a leap year. Every 4 years, 1 extra day was added to February. This brought the average year length to 365 and 1/4 days, very close to the solar year. For its time, this was an extraordinary improvement. But even here, perfection was not reached. The Julian year was slightly too long, by about 11 minutes. Over centuries, this error accumulated. The spring equinox, once fixed around the 21st of March, slowly shifted earlier. By the 16th century, the drift had become significant. The Church depended on the correct calculation of Easter, which was tied to the equinox. To solve the problem, Pope Gregory XIII introduced a reform in 1582. The Gregorian calendar refined the leap year system. A year is a leap year if divisible by 4. However, years ending in 00 are leap years only if divisible by 400. Thus, 1600 was a leap year, but but 1700 was not. This kept the calendar aligned with the solar year much more closely. The Gregorian calendar spread gradually across the world. Catholic countries adopted it quickly, while Protestant and Orthodox nations took longer. In some places, the old and new calendars existed side by side, causing confusion. For example, when Britain switched in 1752, 11 days were skipped. People joked about having lost days of their lives. Today, the Gregorian calendar is the most widely used system worldwide. But not all civilizations followed the same path. Around the world, many rich traditions of timekeeping developed. In Central America, the Maya created an extraordinary system. They used several calendars at once. One was the sacred cycle of 260 days. Another was the solar year of 365 days. These cycles combined into a larger cycle of 52 years, known as the calendar round. Beyond that, the Maya also kept a long count, tracking vast spans of thousands of years. In China, the traditional calendar combined lunar months with solar years. Special attention was given to cycles of 12 years, each associated with an animal: the rat, the ox, the tiger, and so on. These cycles remain deeply woven into cultural life, even today, in the Chinese zodiac. The Islamic world developed a purely lunar calendar. Each year had 12 months of either 29 or 30 days. This made the Islamic year about 11 days shorter than the solar year. As a result, Islamic months and festivals, including Ramadan, move through all the seasons over a cycle of about 33 years. In India, calendars were complex and diverse. Different regions used slightly different systems, many combining lunar and solar elements. Astronomers in India built great observatories to track planetary motions, while religious festivals were tied to the phases of the moon. Buddhist calendars in parts of Asia also combined lunar and solar cycles. They guided not only agricultural life, but also rituals, monastic schedules, and ceremonies. While calendars measured long cycles, people also wanted to measure the shorter cycles of hours and minutes. Sundials, perhaps first used in Egypt, marked time by the shadow of a stick. They worked only in sunlight. Water clocks were invented, where drops or streams flowed at a steady rate. Later came hourglasses, measuring intervals of sand flowing between two bulbs of glass. In the Middle Ages, mechanical clocks appeared in Europe, striking bells to mark the hours. They were placed in town squares and churches, giving communities a shared rhythm of time. In the 17th century, the pendulum clock, designed by Christian Huygens, brought great accuracy. Portable watches followed, making time personal. In the 20th century, quartz technology improved precision even further. Finally, atomic clocks reached staggering accuracy, measuring time down to billionths of a second. Today, humanity uses Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. This system is based on atomic clocks, but also adjusted to match the Earth's rotation. The Earth does not spin perfectly steadily. It slows slightly under the pull of the moon. To correct this, scientists occasionally add what is called a leap second. Our time system today represents the blending of ancient observation and modern science, from farmers watching the moon, to astronomers refining solar years, to physicists studying atoms. The human desire to measure time has never ceased. And so, the history of the calendar is more than a story of numbers. It is a mirror of human culture, a sign of our need for order, and our desire to find meaning in the endless flow of days. It is the rhythm of planting and harvest, the timing of rituals, the rise and fall of empires, and the quiet ticking of a modern clock. The next time you look at a date or check the hour on your phone, remember that you are touching the result of thousands of years of thought, tradition, and discovery. And now, as you rest, let go of the need to count minutes or hours. Time will continue to flow as it always has. You can simply breathe calmly and deeply, each breath a cycle, each heartbeat a natural clock. Allow yourself to sink into the rhythm of your own body and drift peacefully into sleep.